The A circle, I know when I was a public school student a long time ago, they had something called set theory, right? There were different sets. Set A, I think there's a Venn diagram maybe? Whatever. So I learned something, thank God. So you have this big set. It's a big circle called A. And A is all of the prophecies in the Bible. All of the prophecies that speak about this future utopian age. It's beautiful, it's delicious. But when you read all those prophecies, which we just did a few of them, you walk away and you say, that's nice, but where is there a guy? Where is there a person? Where is there a personality? Where is there anybody? And you should know that the Reform movement, the Jewish Reform movement, basically said, we believe in a messianic age. We don't believe in a personal Messiah. And one of the reasons they had this idea was because they go through the Bible and you don't see a lot about any guy. Basically what you see primarily is a description of a transformed world, a utopian world. Now there's a lot of credibility to what they've said. That's primarily the thrust of the Bible. But the devil is in the details. And the fact is that they've missed something by making this absolute declaration. Because as you see, in the middle of the side of this big set, this big circle of all of these beautiful passages about a transformed utopian world, there is a small, what we call subset. There are a number of passages in the Bible, approximately 10, that also speak about this transformed world. They do. They speak about a transformed world, but they also mention a special person, this utopian king. Isaiah 11, a shoot will come out of the stump of Jesse. Jesse was the father of King David, by the way. And a branch will grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord will rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. Righteousness will be the belt around his waist, and faithfulness the belt around his loins. So here we're describing someone as being very righteous and wise. And we're told the wolf will live with the lamb. Woody Allen says, by the way, but the lamb won't get much sleep. But the wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the lion and the fatling together, and the child shall lead them. Now in the Bible, these wild animals are often a metaphor for the nations of the world. But now he makes it clear that it's a metaphor. They shall not hurt or destroy in all of my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Why will there be peace throughout the world? Because the knowledge of God will spread throughout the world. Jeremiah 30 tells us, but I just want to make something clear, by the way. This passage in Isaiah 11 speaks about this time of universal peace, universal knowledge of God, but it mentions this great personality who will come from Jesse, who will be wise and righteous. Now, hold on, just as you say in Kung Fu, patience, grasshopper. Okay. Everything could be a metaphor, right? However, if the Bible can mean anything, it means nothing. So we have to really look at the Bible carefully and see, is there any reason to assume it's a metaphor? And there may be good reasons to assume not. You're right. But once you say that a passage can mean anything, it doesn't mean the Bible means nothing. We've got to accept on some level, the Talmud always says, Ein mikra yotzei midei pshuto. We accept the basic meaning of the text unless we have a good reason to assume otherwise. So when the Bible uses language which is clearly metaphoric, when it describes, for example, God as a great eagle, so we have a right to assume, well, it's like a simile, it's a metaphor, right? He's like a great eagle. It's giving it even the language itself tells you it's a metaphor. But we have to judge. You have to be the judge and see after we go through all the material whether or not you think it's a metaphor. Okay. Jeremiah 30. But we're told they will all serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up for them. But as for you, have no fear, my servant Jacob, says the Lord, and do not be dismayed, O Israel. I'm going to save you from far away and your offspring from the land of the captivity. Jacob will return and have quiet and ease. No one's going to make him afraid. Here again, it's talking about the Jewish people returning to their homeland, living there in peace, and having this great king from the line of David. Jeremiah 23. The days are surely coming, says the Lord, when I'll raise up for David a righteous branch, a righteous descendant, and he will reign as king and deal wisely. and will execute justice and righteousness in the land. Again, this is a consistent CV for this person. Not just some guy from the line of David. This person will be wise, will be righteous, will judge, etc. And in his days, Judah will be saved and Israel will dwell securely. And this is the name by which he will be called. The Lord is our righteousness. Let's turn to page 8. And we'll do one more passage. On the bottom of page 8, Ezekiel 37. My servant David will be king over them. Again, a king from the line of David. And they will all have one shepherd. They will follow my ordinances and be careful to observe my statutes. It's talking here, by the way, that when the Jewish people return to the land of Israel and they all get in touch with God, they're going to be observing the Torah. Obviously, the perfect vision is not of a Jewish people who are out of touch with the Torah. We turn the slide here. They will live in the land that I gave to their servant, my servant Jacob, in which your ancestors lived, they and their children's children will live there forever. And my servant David will be their prince forever. I will make a covenant of peace with them. It will be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will bless them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary among them forevermore. That's, again, the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem. My dwelling place will be with them. I will be their God, and they will be my people. Then the nations shall know that I, the Lord, sanctifies Israel, and my sanctuary is among them forevermore. Again, if we had time, we could read dozens of similar passages. To sum up for a moment, because now it's going to get a little more difficult. To sum up for a moment, what we find in the Bible is a large collection, a big, big collection of passages that speak about a redeemed utopian world. These passages mention nothing about any particular individual or personality. However, within this big set that talks about a transformed world, there's a small set of about 10, a dozen passages that speak about a transformed world of peace and love and universal knowledge of God. But they also mention, all of them, a wise, righteous descendant of King David who will be the king of the Jewish people at the time of this universal transformation. Now,